And I don't know what to make first. It doesn't matter to me. So why don't we, what?
Black raspberry.
Okay, black raspberry. All right, I don't care. We'll do that. This is black raspberry chocolate chunk. It's one of the, for 11 years, it's been a staple at the store. And every time we do an event off campus, out like a rec center, a church, or whatever, this is one of the flavors they want, black raspberry chocolate chunk. I, of course, am known also for adult flavors, but since most of you are under 21, we'll make it non-adult. I'll use the small machine.
This will be ready in a minute.
I said I'll use the small machine. Well, we have to do it for something. Might as well do it for this.
Oh, the rest of my flavors are on there.
Okay, good. All right, so black raspberry chocolate chunk. I like these Tyranny flavors. They work pretty good. And they're really inexpensive. So they make these for flavoring cappuccinos and frappuccinos and stuff like that. But we had a coffee bar at the store, so I was buying it for that, and then I discovered let's try to make ice cream with it, and they work out real good. I've got a whole assortment of them there, and they're excellent. You'll see. You'll see what you think. Okay, this is regular mix. Regular mix comes in these bladders. The standard is 2 bladders to a box, a case they call it, 2 of these. These are 10 quarts of ice cream mix, which, as Steve likes to remind us, is really a misnomer. It's dairy mix. It's butterfat, 10% we use, and milk solids and skim milk and all that good stuff. Okay, so in this formula, we're going to use the small machine, 2.5 quarts each. Let's go 3 quarts. Doug, good tip on how to do this, right?
Yep.
Okay. Should I let it out?
What could happen?
Should I?
What could go wrong?
When you're measuring something, the normal is to put it like this and then pour in either these or a measuring cup if you're using that. But the problem is when you have something like this and you're pouring it in, you're trying to pour it and look over here. So simply turn it away from you. Oh, that's genius. And then you pour and you can readily see. Genius, right, Kevin? Okay, so we need, what did we say, 3 quarts? Three quarts. And I like to put it first. The first thing in the machine is always the mix. Always the mix. You're awfully quiet over there, sir.
I'm re-sanitizing.
Are you?
Because I put my hands in there. So I'm very big on that.
Okay, in it goes. Three quarts of that. There's really only 3 ingredients here. We'll add, I don't know how many ounces of this. We'll start it up first. And we'll add a scooch of this. That's just about right, I think. Huh?
Does sugar in that affect the freezing?
Nah.
Yes, of course it does. The more sugar in the product, the longer.
Yeah, but it doesn't affect the freezing to any extent that you have to think about it. When you put it in the freezer, it'll freeze.
I worry about world peace. I think about everything. I'm not doing so good on world peace, huh?
World peace or world pizza?
That too.
Okay,
They
we're
get
going to
mixed
add
up.
some. These are brand new today. Chocolate chunks. We'll add a little of that. And I think that's it. Now, I always do something before I hit the freezer. Right now, it's mixing it. And before it hits the freezer, what do I like to do? I like to taste it. Because focusing, when you make an ice cream, you got to focus. Everything may be great, you taste it, you go, whoa, wait a minute. What happened to the blah, blah, blah? And that's because you were distracted, playing Candy Crush, texting on your phone, going to the bathroom, whatever. But of course, it's perfect. Huh. They changed the timer. Now the small machine, you change this. The timer, now when you hit that, it works.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, we changed it.
Not on this one, though.
Older machine.
Yeah.
This one's about 14 years old.
Really?
We just keep upgrading it.
I
but we
better
haven't-
get a great price on
We
it.
haven't done. We haven't done the final upgrade.
What you hear banging around are those chocolate chunks.
Okay.
What?
I just went into Mike and I said, the machine's making a banging
No,
noise.
no.
He said, go stand by it and let me hear it.
No,
That's our
it's-
senior tech in there. It's the
chocolate
chunks.
chunks. Normally I add chocolate chips
You're
and you
scaring
don't
me.
hear anything, but this is chocolate chunks and they're big and they were frozen. So it's the blades are having their work cut out for them with the chocolate chunks.
Thank you. I wondered what that was.
There you go. Always an answer.
Always worrying about everything.
Whoa.
Me.
Whoa.
Oh, thank you. Now, okay, so back while we're waiting for this, what's wrong with this product? Anything you can think of? Honestly, yes.
No vanilla?
Excuse me?
No vanilla?
We added vanilla and needed more.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant with me.
No, the dairy free.
Oh, you want to add vanilla to this? Who said that?
No,
Do you want to?
do you,
Do you want to?
I don't know, do you need
Do you want to? Say yes or no. Yes, I'll add it. No, I won't.
No.
No?
Try
Okay.
it without.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
It tastes. You can really taste the coconut in it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
you
delicious.
can. Which I think
It
is a
was-
pleasant taste.
Yeah. It didn't feel like how we had the ice cream and everything yesterday. It didn't feel like it weighed you down. So
Right.
good. Yeah, I
And,
like it.
and if you're not going to eat dairy, I think this is a very good alternative. It's a
I like
great
the
alternative.
crunch.
Yeah.
I like the crunch.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
So now you can make it with a Boston accent.
However, that's all I liked.
Yeah. You didn't like the golden raisins? I hand-picked those
I didn't
myself.
get any. I just tasted it. I didn't
I
get the
flew out to
raisins.
Southern California and picked those.
All right. What do you want to do now? What do we do now? Well, it's
So the rinsing that I did is not something you would normally do between batches. You would plan your production. You would make vanilla, then butterscotch swirl, because the swirl is added as it's coming out of the machine. Then you could do a chocolate swirl. Then you would go on to strawberry, then Bordeaux cherry, because the strawberry, any strawberry left in the machine, very little, will be covered over by the darker Bordeaux cherry. Then you could go to black raspberry, which will cover over the Bordeaux cherry. And if someone gets a little piece of Bordeaux cherry in their black raspberry, they'll never notice. So you can go, if you plan your production, you can go bing, 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 bing. You could go 8 hours without ever doing the rinse that I just did. Yes?
Would you go on to chocolate after that then, or would you not do that?
You can go on to anything you want. If you didn't rinse out, you would have chocolate with grape nuts in it, which might be an interesting flavor. We might have to try that next. Chocolate chip grape nuts. Yes?
I noticed you wind up throwing away maybe about 60% of your ingredients in the can.
No,
From the rinse.
it wasn't that at all, but it was more than I expected because the product itself is sticky. I thought that there was plenty of flavor in it, but that normally wouldn't happen. With a dairy product, which is much looser, you're not going to get that being left in the machine.
Okay.
And also, this was the first time I tried it, so I might modify how I made it.
Okay.
But I thought the question about the timer was good because we don't even turn on a timer. If you want a timer, there is one on the machine, but also you can get something with a bell so that it's like buying a new washing machine. When you first buy a new washing machine, you actually stand there and you wash your dishes, wash your clothes because it's brand new. After about 15 minutes of that, you ignore it for the rest of your life. You turn it on and walk away. So while Jeff, normally if he was making a production run, instead of us standing here talking, he'd be getting his tubs ready, he'd be getting his flavors ready. So you're using up your time efficiently so you can get out of here and go on to something else. So you can crank out a lot of ice cream on our machines in a short amount of time.
I have the 24, and I try to do 80 to 100 gallons at a run. It takes me about 4 hours, 4.5 hours. And you have to do that maybe 4 times a week if you're really, popular and successful. Well, success is relative, right? But if you have a lot of customers.
If you talked to me 20 years ago and said, how much would it cost me to get into the ice cream business? I'd probably say about $120,000. Today, I would say realistically, you could do it for $35,000. And what is the difference? The difference is we're looking at it at a whole different perspective. Instead of buying everything we could possibly need for the next 10 years right up front, we're buying what we have to get into business. I tell people, and they don't believe me until the process is over, I'm actually here to spend as little of your money as possible because I know you're going to be successful. But if I start you off with a big $10,000 credit card debt and a $100,000 loan from the bank, as Jeff has said to me before, you've got to pay for all that before you start making a profit, technically. So I start off, the CB350 is the largest selling machine in the world, and the reason is it'll do everything the bigger machines will do, but it costs less because it's a smaller capacity, it's a smaller machine, and when you're young and starting a new business, or when you're my age and starting a business, you're not afraid of working this thing 12, 14, 16 hours a day. When it gets up to 18 hours a day, people call up and say, how fast can you send me a 24 quart? Now, what has changed besides the fact that they're running at 18 hours a day? Well, I don't care what you're doing, if you're digging ditches, if you're working 18 hours a day, you're bringing in some real money. So if we get you started this way, then you will gradually move up and you'll get to the equipment size that you want, where you're like Jeff's business, where he's working 4 hours to make all the ice cream he wants. But to start out that way, people ask me, it's kind of a loaded question, but they say, what is the key to success in the frozen dessert business? Well, number one, the best product you can possibly make, and number two, $5,000 cash in the bank. Because this company, that company, anybody you deal with is not going to give you an open account for the first year. So rather than run everything up on credit cards, which you'll never pay off, it's better to have cash in the bank and hold back on your equipment or your signs or the tie-dye shirts. They can come later. Right now, just get the product out there, best you can possibly make, And one thing that took me a long time to learn from Jeff is don't worry about the cost of the product. If you're an accountant and you're going to sit there and worry about the Hydrox cookies cost 4 cents less per portion than the Oreo cookie, and they don't taste as good, go for the Oreo cookies. Go for the Ghirardelli. Make the best you can, because your reputation will allow you to sell it at a great price. Did I do the speech that you wanted me to do right?
Close.
Okay.
Close.
Yes.
It won't allow you to sell it at a great price. It'll allow you to sell it at a fair price and have customers returning often.
What's the waiting time? How long do you have to wait to get a CB350 if you order it today? Like,
The max wait time for my machines, because we keep getting bigger, is 4 weeks, which is a real fast amount of time in this industry. And oftentimes we might have it for you in 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, it depends on, we hand make all the machines, which you'll see on the tour later, but the CB350 comes only one way. So where I'm custom designing the bigger machines to the voltage, which country, the power. This one, I can build 15 or 20 of these at a clip. So and they're always sold out before the run is finished, but there's another run coming along that'll be finished in 2 weeks. So we'll have it for you pretty quickly. Anybody else yet? Yes.
Now, as you making it, do you have should we call you, or do you have a booklet as far as like the different flavors that you can go down the
You
line?
mean like this?
Yeah.
You mean
Make sure
like
you're on
that?
camera.
Yes.
Hey, Jeff, on camera. You're not on camera.
I am.
No, you're not. He's on camera. Okay. Boy, you're getting fast at that. So tell us about the book.
This is a book of about 22 original recipes that I started the ice cream store on. And what's up?
We're good.
It's okay? You want to let a little out?
Yeah, it was a little full.
Yeah. And also a lot of, did you go through it last night? And a lot of tips and tricks and what to buy and what not to buy. It's a good book. Normally it sells for $60, $199. If you're in class, it's $50, and if you're watching at home, it's $60, because I have to mail it.
Besides Jeff's book, which thousands of people have made a whole business on, these classes we're doing today, we videotape them and we break them into 20-minute segments that we're running. So there'll be a segment on my flavor, then there'll be one on Jeff. So we'll be up to about 420 videos by next week. And you can watch those, and if it's my videos, the formula is there for you to take. If it's Jeff's video, you want to hit the pause button and see what he went for. And you'll see him reach behind here. He's pulling out some secret ingredient and going like that. But you know what? The lady who asked about maybe putting in more vanilla or not, we can teach a class of this size how to make this product today. But then when you have your store, you'll say, Jeff's product was really good, but I think it needed about 3 ounces of vanilla.
Right. More
that's
sweet,
what makes
less
it
sweet.
Yeah, that's what makes it your formula and not Jeff's, or your formula and not mine. Is we'll teach all these people, thousands of people, but they'll all have a different Oreo cookie ice cream or mint chip ice cream. They'll all be different, but they'll have the basic mathematics of this is what needs to go into.
And
make
mine will
ice
be
cream.
the best.
True. He makes better ice cream than I do. Yes.
So I like the consistency of this, like in regards to the softness of it. So what temperature would we keep it so then the next day it would be as soft as this, or would it just automatically be hard ice cream?
Well, we're going to serve it as a hard product. It's not a soft serve product, though I believe you can run it through a soft serve machine if you want to spend $30,000 for a soft serve machine. What we're going to do is we're going to put it in the freezer. Christy has already put it into pint containers and it's all called for. And we're going to freeze it down solid, and then we're going to have it just like Breyers, but better, at home to scoop when we want.
And certain ice creams, when you put it in the freezer, like when we put these in tonight, tomorrow, certain ones will be hard, certain ones won't be so hard. depending upon the sugar or the alcohol content. So if it's a real hard one, then take it out and temper it on the counter. That's what the girls at the store do. They get in at, we're open at 6 o'clock, they get in at 5 o'clock, 5:15, they take out the hard ones, put them on the counter in the buckets, and then half hour later, 40 minutes later, they put it back in the freezer and they're scoopable.
I think this one had more mix in it than it needed, or more ingredients. So
I don't know.
I took out that much.
Normally, I put in 2.5 quarts. You told me to go to 4 on this machine.
Oh, well, we'll talk about it. I go 3.5 for flavors that I'm going to add a lot of stuff into, and 4 if it's
I only
vanilla.
added 3 quarts.
Yeah. See, this is not your machine. You're
Right.
You're
I'm used to the big
machine.
one, yeah.
So there's some
I'm used
variations.
to the big boys.
Yeah. You stick to the big boys. I'll run the small one.
Okay. Fair enough.
But it should be ready soon.
Another half a minute.
Okay. Yes.
So as far as expansion, so if you put in 3 quarts or 2.5 quarts, like you did in class, how many quarts of ice cream would you get from that? 2.5, 3 quarts? Like how much does it expand?
If I put in a total of 3.5 quarts of product, I can get a maximum of 7 out of the machine. It's air expansion. So the infinite overrun, you tell me what you want. You want more of a super premium ice cream. We're going to slow the drive down. You hit super premium ice cream, and now you'll put in 3.5 and get back 5. If you want to do gelato, you'll put in 3.5 and get back about 4.5. So we can give you any air content you want.
Like the standard, like homemade
I'll shut it.
ice cream.
Scared.
That's what I'm here for.
It all depends on what you want to serve. People talk about air content, but I have yet to meet anybody walk out of an ice cream parlor. Even though we're the king of air content, we can do stuff that no other machine can do. Nobody ever walked out of an ice cream parlor and said, "Oh, that's the best air content I ever had, and I can't wait to come back tomorrow because I love that fat level." People say, "Wow, that mint chip was really minty." It's part of the overall package. Basically, air, I compare it to cake. You have a birthday cake and you have a pound cake. They're both good. The birthday cake is high air, the pound cake's very dense. Which one would people most rather have a second piece of? The birthday cake. It leaves them feeling refreshed. Now, Haagen-Dazs is a pound cake ice cream. And that's great for pints because you pick at it. When you get home, you take a little spoonful. After dinner tonight, you take a little bit of it. But their ice cream parlors failed because a 4-ounce portion was so dense, it fell into the bottom third of the cone, which made it look like, gee, I didn't get my money's worth. And it was so dense it left you feeling full. So lower air content is not necessarily a better product, though we'll give you the lowest that can be done in physics.
So if you use 3 quarts of product and put it on the homemade cycle, how many quarts would you get out?
6. It doubles. That's called 100% overrun. And overrun is like the term proof in alcohol. If you have a 100 proof rum, it's 50% alcohol and 50% other stuff. Take away the word proof and put in overrun, and now our ice cream is 50% dairy and 50% air.
So how many quarts will that machine right there take?
It'll make 7.
So it'll take 3.5.
Yeah. Yeah, we advertise it as a 6-quart machine, it makes 7. Because there are variations in mix. If you want to mix up your own blend at home, it's probably not going to take on much air because you'll make the mistake of using cream and sugar. And that's not ice cream. That's cream and sugar. Yes?
Can you put a whole bag of mix in the 24 quart?
Yes. Yeah, the whole bag is 10 quarts. So, and you can make either a 20-quart batch on the 24, or you can make a 20-quart batch. The bags come as 10 quarts. So 100% over and maximum by law is 20 quarts. So I'm going to make 5 gallons of ice cream on that machine. But if I'm doing Italian ices, I'm using tap water and sugar, and they take longer to freeze because of the higher sugar content. So I want to make 6 quarts. 24 quarts. I want to make more just because of the time factor, and I'm not buying it in a bag. So I'm putting in about 17 quarts of product and getting 24 out because it's sugar water.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So if you throw the whole bag in there, and you have 100% overrun, you'll end up with two, the paper gallon, the 3
No, I
gallon
forgot.
ice cream buckets. You end up with two full buckets, right?
2 of these.
You end up with 2. You throw the whole bag in there.
You put 1 of these liquid into the machine, and you get 2 of these back.
Right.
That's 2.5 gallons. You put in 1 bucket, 1 bag, you get 2 bags of ice cream.
Right. 2 buckets.
So whatever your cost, the cost of mix, cut it in half. Hi.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. How do you know when it's ready?
The word of God, let's.
Oh, he lets you know. Okay. Well, we're gonna do a little more. Okay. That's good. What is this flavor, Jeff?
Black raspberry chocolate chunk.
Black raspberry. No alcohol. Let me get my next flavor, but I'm gonna have to rinse that out, so we'll be a little delayed.